Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. Now today's video is all about subclass 191. Now are you a holder of visa 491 or 494? The time has come. Remember 3 years ago, the government of Australia has invented, well, not reinvented, they basically replaced the previous 489 and to 491 and replaced 187 to 494 in order to actually, well, should I say this, restrain the migrants in the designated regional area. And well, they have to be there for at least 3 years, and then they will be able and deemed to be able to transfer into a permanent residency. Well, despite of the whatever the design of this designated regional visas, whether or not it's good or not. Anyway, next week on the 16th of November 2022, the subclass 191 will actually kick in, activated in order for these people to actually transfer into permanent residency. So congratulations to those ones who are eligible very soon. Anyway, let's have a look at the news and then we'll go through the actual subclass and explain a little bit about what is required so you can get ready to file your permanent residency application. All right, okay. So this news came from yesterday. Now, well, the law has to be enacted because next week is the time, the 16th of November is required for these people to actually lodge the visa. So you can see there's an amendment coming in because there's inclusion of the subclass 191 into the migration regulation 1994. So a little bit of overview, I'll have a read and you have listened. So the migration amendment, new skill regional visas regulation 2019. As you can see, that was created back 3 years ago and only gotta be enacted and activated next week because they don't want to enact the law because they cannot allow those people who has not stayed in designated regional area for at least 3 years to be able to transfer into permanent residency. So they put it on hold 3 years ago and next week it will be activated. That's how it works. Okay, so and also the skill employment sponsor regional subclass 494 visas of 491 and 494. So if you're a visa holder of 491 and 494, next week is a big week for you. Well, as long as you have accrued 3 years of residency and work in designated regional area. So that's gonna commence on the 16th of November 2000. Well, they started back in November 16. 2019 and the 191 will be activated next week. So obviously there has been an inclusion of the Hong Kong stream. That's basically for the government of Australia to well, provide a pathway for the Hong Kong citizens who has well, you know what happened in the past 2 years of the national security law and also the takedown of the whole city. Anyway, you might want to, you know, search a little bit. If you're not from Hong Kong, you probably want to do some research on on Google. You'll find what happened there. Okay. Now, the regional provisional stream of subclass 191 commences on 16th November 2022. It's a permanent pathway from the visa holder 491 and 494 to be eligible to stream. Holder either 494 and 491 required to demonstrate they have at least 3 years continuous residence in designated regional in Australia, meeting other eligible requirement. Now, obviously, there has been people, visa holders, basically they have moved around between different designated regional area. Will they meet the requirement? Yes, as long as you stay in designated regional area. For example, you originally arrive in Darwin and you have subsequently move along because of the employment situation and you're now down in Adelaide. Would that meet the requirement? Yes, as long as you are in the designated regional area. But give you another example, if you arrive, say, in Cairns, and then you subsequently relocated into Brisbane, now will that meet the requirement? No, because Brisbane is not designated regional area. So bear in mind, you have to prove that 3 years of residency are all in the designated regional area. So once granted, the subclass 191 regional provisional stream allows holder to live and work anywhere in Australia permanently. Wow, finally. Anyway, let's have a look at the immigration's web page, shall we? Now, bear in mind, this will the detail will actually kick in a couple of days later. So if you click on the eligibility, let's do that. It actually says there's nothing. Okay, so let's go back to the overview. But it's not really that important anyway, because the contents are mostly here anyway. Let me magnify that a little bit bigger. Oops. Okay, that looks better now. Okay, now it's a permanent visa, and charges has not been announced. I suspect it will be around, should be about $4,000 something there. And processing time, obviously they are not open yet, so they don't have any information here. And with this visa, you can work, study anywhere in Australia because you are a permanent resident of Australia. Sponsor eligible family member to permanent residence because you are a permanent resident already. Okay, if eligible, become Australian citizen. So in able to be a Australian citizen, I've actually done a video on that one. You need to show approval residency continuously in Australia for the past 4 years. So anyway, if you have done that, for example, you're 3 years or 4 years perhaps, include the previous visas, then you will be able, you deem to be able to transfer and become a Australian citizen. But that's another video. I've done one in my YouTube channel. You might want to search on it. Okay, so how can you meet the requirement? Okay, here we go. You hold eligible visa at least 3 years. Well, that's 491 and 494. Have had a taxable income at or above a specific income threshold for at least 3 years while holding that eligible visa. Now, there is no specific requirement for you to actually be employed in a certain position unless you're under 494 visa, which is an employment sponsor. So you have to, well, obviously you need to work for that employer because he or she sponsor you. Okay, and the specific income threshold at this point in time is $53,900 per year. So you need to show what? You need to show 2020, the year of 2021, 22, 20 and 21, and 2019 and 2020. Each of these 3 years, your individual tax return needs to show above $53,900. And obviously, you comply with the condition. It means you haven't committed any crime, and also you meet the health criteria. So it's pretty straightforward. I think 491 visa is actually quite good. It hasn't really kicked in to actually get anyone to become a permanent resident. I suspect the processing time for 191 will be quite fast in compared to the other one, because the government wanted to show the genuine intention to allow people to become a permanent resident. Remember when Anthony Albanese became the Prime Minister back in May, he had made a promise they want people to stay in Australia. They don't want them to go away. So I think the processing time here will actually be much quicker compared to all the other type of visa. So anyway, 16th of November coming up next week. If you are a holder of visa 491 or 494, get ready. You'll be able to become a permanent residency soon. Anyway, should you have more questions or query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. And I see you next video. Goodbye.